What's up, fam? This your boy Cut to the Chase TV. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button and be sure to share this video. I got some news for you Negroes today. Keefe D has been arrested for the murder of Tupac Shakur, and the moment the news hit the internet, Las Vegas police have been celebrating. They've been popping bottles. They are in victory formation. Every time I turn around, they are giving a news conference, patting themselves on the back, quoting Tupac, talking about, yeah, we finally did it. We didn't give up. I'm like, bruh, it took y'all 27 years. Me as a citizen, I'm not looking at you guys saying good job. I'm looking at you guys like y'all are incompetent. I'm like, damn, what took y'all so long? It should have been an open and shut case. It took Keefe D to go on Vlad TV. It took Keefe D to do all these interviews, self-snitching. You talking about self-snitching. You talking about throwing yourself under the bus. You talking about biting your own hand. Keefe D is the definition of that. Because I'm under the influence that if he would have just shut the hell up, if he would never did no interview, if he would never wrote no book, he would have got away with the murder of Tupac Shakur. I really do believe that, because everything was lined up for him to get away. We wanted him to get away. We was in denial about Tupac. We were saying he was still alive. We were saying he faked his own death. We were saying he was living in Cuba. Everybody had their own conspiracy about Tupac Shakur. So I'm looking at Keefe D. I'm like, why the hell are you talking about this? I don't give a damn what a detective told you. Why are you admitting to taking out Tupac? You know he is a beloved figure in hip hop. You know he got diehard fans that want this case solved. So what the hell are you doing? What's the end game? The risk is not worth the reward. Yeah, you go on Vlad TV, may get a couple of $1,000, get a few likes. That's not worth your freedom, and now your ass is locked up. And I think you deserve to be there. Because stupid is as stupid does, and Keefe D is stupid as hell. And everybody know that, even the detectives. And that's why they pulled this stunt on you. I'm gonna explain to you guys what the detectives did. Keefe D was pushing that weight. He was moving that work. The FBI did a sting operation and brought him in for questioning. Keefe D was so terrified to go to jail. He didn't want to go to prison that he agreed to a proffer interview with the detectives about Tupac's murder. And in case you guys don't know what a proffer is, it's an agreement you make with the detectives, meaning anything you say in this one interview can't be used against you. But you have to be truthful. If you are honest with the detectives, anything you say, no matter what, in this one interview, they can't use it against you. Now, if you get out the interview and start running your mouth, you jump on Vlad TV and start speaking about what you told them, then they can use that evidence against you. As you see, Keefe D did just that. He explained everything on Vlad TV. I mean, he was just jumping from YouTube channel to YouTube channel. Who wants to know about Tupac murder? Who wants to know about Tupac murder? He was telling who was driving. He was telling where everybody was seated at, who supplied the weapons. He was throwing P. Diddy name in there. And he even threw his nephew under the bus. He said, yeah, I admit my nephew, Orlando Anderson, killed Tupac because he was so angry that Death Row stumped him out. He said that, right? So everybody was like, yeah, we kind of figured that. It kind of makes sense. Tupac seen stumping somebody out, and 2 hours later, he loses his life to gun violence. It kind of seemed like Orlando Anderson got that get back. But then everybody started sitting back. Everybody started saying, wait a minute, based on the position that Keefe D say they was seated, how can Orlando Anderson possibly take out Tupac? That's the question that everybody is answering. That's what everybody want to answer to. Because based on Keefe D testimony, based on what he said in that proffer interview, he said he was in the passenger seat. Orlando Anderson was right behind him. T-Bone was driving, and then you got a 6'6", 400-pound Big Dre closer to Tupac vehicle, right? He said he gave Big Dre the strap first. Big Dre got cold feet, so that's when Orlando Anderson took the strap from him and started firing at Tupac. And everybody like, man, I don't think that makes sense. Because witnesses say they seen a big arm, big hand hanging out the window. Now, if you know Orlando Anderson, nigga like my size, he's skin and bone. You know a little bitty ass hand. But they said it was a fat nigga hand. They said the whole arm, the arm meat was hanging out the window. That's what they said. So they saying it has to be Big Dre. And now you got a new witness speaking out. You got a new witness speaking to the grand jury. A member of the Southside Crip that know Keefe D, that know Big Dre, that know Orlando Anderson. He said he had personal conversations with Big Dre saying he's the one that took out Tupac. Listen to this.
Transcripts the 8 News Now investigators obtained paint a picture of what witnesses testified in secret grand jury hearings before the panel voted to indict Dwayne Keefe D. Davis in the murder of Tupac Shakur.
Wait a minute, did you guys just hear what I heard? So you mean to tell me a Southside Crip gang member is testifying against Keefe D to the grand jury in these secret court proceedings, and Keefe D don't even know it? That means he's giving incriminating evidence. He said, yeah, you should lock up Keefe D, and I'm gonna give you the evidence. Why? Gang members, take heed to that. Because one minute you could be saying, those my brothers, I'm willing to die for them, it's ride or die with the homies, and then the next minute you know your homie could be testifying to put you away, to save himself, to get a lighter sentence in something he got going on. So take heed to that. Damn a gang. That's why I ride solo. I ain't got time nobody be testifying, showing up to the grand jury. I'm thinking you a real nigga. Meanwhile, you trying to put me behind bars for life. That's what happened to Keefe D. But let's continue.
Ultimately, our persistence in this investigation has paid off.
It's an investigation that began with this video from 1996, a fight involving Shakur, record exec Suge Knight, and members of a rival gang. Hours later, Davis, the kingpin of that other group, allegedly ordered the retaliatory shooting. A Southside Crips gang affiliate testifying, Keefe is the one who's going to make all the arrangements and all the plans until that gun goes into somebody else's hand.
Let me say this, because I see a lot of people on the internet, they're arguing, they going back and forth about who was the trigger man, who actually pulled out the strap and hit Tupac with it. It's not even about that. It don't matter who pulled the trigger. If you was in that car, you get charged with murder. And then you got Southside Crip former gang member saying Keefe D is the shot caller. Keefe D calling the shots in the car. So it's over for Keefe D. He had a good run. His interviews was very entertaining, but that's what you get for chasing clout. You chose clout over freedom. You should have been thinking long term. When you agreed to that proffer, once you left that interview, you should never spoke on Tupac again. That would have been a smart thing to do. If you would have did that, you would still be free. I won't be making these videos about you. Other people won't be making videos about you. So as you sit in that cell, 60 years old, that's a death sentence. Even if you get 18 years, that ain't something I want to do at 60 years old. When I get out when I'm 78, hell no. So it's over for Keefe D, man. But let's continue.
Davis was sitting in the front passenger seat of another car when it pulled up side by side to Shakur's. In his book, Davis says he handed a gun to a passenger in the back seat who then fired. Metro Police showing this diagram Friday with Orlando Anderson, Davis's nephew, and DeAndre Smith in the back seat. Both are deceased. The gang member saying, when he passed the firearm to Orlando didn't have a clear shot. Big Dre is 6'6". At this time, he's 370, 400. He's big. You're not going to reach over like that because shells would have been popping all in Big Dre's face and all kind of stuff. When asked if Smith was the shooter, the gang affiliate told the grand jury he did the shooting.
So the gang affiliate is snitching to the grand jury about what happened to Tupac. He said Keefe D is lying about the trigger man. It wasn't his nephew Orlando Anderson that did it. It was Big Dre. And the reason why Big Dre did it, because he was seated closer to Tupac. For Orlando Anderson to have to reach over him, stick his hand out the window, he would basically have to be sitting on Big Dre's lap. And I know they ain't rolling like that. And it confirms what the witness said. Like they said it was a fat hand hanging out the window. It was arm fat hanging out the window. It wasn't nobody my size. So that confirms the witnesses. So I tend to believe the affiliate on what he's saying. I think Keefe D was just trying to give his nephew some fame, try to have family ties. Yeah, my nephew did it. My nephew took out Tupac. He didn't want to say my nephew got stumped out and somebody else had to handle the business. Keefe didn't want to do that. He was just trying to make Orlando Anderson look good. But let's continue.
Davis was the shot caller for this group of individuals that committed this crime, and he orchestrated the plan that was carried out.
A member of Shakur's security team saying he saw a, quote, larger size arm fire the shots. That man also telling the grand jury in the moments after the shooting, he approached a wounded Shakur who told him, quote, get on the ground, they're going to shoot you. Shakur wasn't talking about Davis's group, but responding police officers who thought the shooter was among the rapper's entourage.
You know what's interesting about all this? You know what's interesting about the gang affiliate testimony? And you want to know what's interesting about what Keefe D said happened? It's a contradiction. Keefe D said his nephew Orlando Anderson did it. The gang affiliate said that's not true. And let's be honest, Keefe D did a proffer agreement. In that proffer interview, he said Orlando Anderson did it. He said my nephew was the trigger man. So once you tell the police that in the proffer agreement, you pretty much got to stick to it. You can't change the story, because remember, if you lie in the proffer agreement, it voids the agreement. That means they can prosecute you based on what you told them. So at this point, Keefe D got to stick to that story no matter what. No matter what the evidence say, no matter what type of questions he get, he got to say Orlando Anderson pulled the trigger. He can't come back and say, yeah, it was Big Dre. I misspoke on that, because that means you lied to the police. That means you wasn't truthful. So I think Keefe D is stuck in a hard place. He know Big Dre might have did it. He know Big Dre did it, but he still got to stick to Orlando Anderson's story. Take a look at this next clip. When Keefe D was confronted about Big Dre possibly killing Tupac Shakur, Keefe D tensed up. He damn near ran out the interview, had a heart attack. He was stuttering. He couldn't look the man in his face. You can see that he was visibly upset. Like, man, you trying to send me back to jail? Why you asking me this type of question for? You know I can't answer it truthfully. Take a listen at this clip. Let's go.
How you feel about the people that feel like Big Dre, he shot Tupac? Because you did make a confession some years ago, man, and you said that you gave the gun to Big Dre, but he got cold feet. So Orlando, he ended up snatching the gun and shooting Tupac.
No.
You see that? He wants to say something. He just throws his hands up, because he know the story he told the police don't make sense. He know what he told the police might have been a lie, so he can't take back and say, oh yeah, man, Big Dre did do it, because that means you lied to the police. That means your ass can go to jail. So when he was asked that question, you can see that Keefe D is visibly shaking. He don't know how to react. He don't know what to say. He trying to get the hell out of Dodge. I don't really blame him on that, because now you playing with his freedom. He damn near mad at the interviewer. Watch how the hostility he got toward this interview. Watch this.
Was Big Dre like that? Was he capable of doing that? Was he a shooter?
Them dudes was kids, man. Both of them dudes was kids back then. They was kids, dude. Them dudes was kids. Dude, Dre was an all-CIF basketball player, dude. You know what I'm saying? Big Dre was an all-CIF basketball player. You know what I'm saying? Nice shot, all that shit. Dunking and all that shit.
What that got to do with the question he asked you? He said, did Big Dre shoot him? Is that something he's capable of doing? Then you start talking about he playing sports, he's a basketball player. I know a bunch of killers who play ball. I know a bunch of killers who had a wicked jump shot, who had hands as an NFL receiver. I know plenty of that. That means nothing. Stop trying to skate around a question. Be a man and answer the man question. You wanted that clout? This the clout you was looking for. But let's continue.
Them dudes was kids. Dre was an athlete. Them dudes was athletes, dude, you know? It wasn't about that, you know? Yeah. Back then, Dre was a... Yeah.
So he had pulled the trigger.
Man, we already discussed that. Was you trying to get me in jail again?
Wait a minute. He refused to answer the interviewer question and say, we already discussed that. What, you trying to get me in jail again? You the only one doing all the talking. You going from channel to channel telling the same story over and over again. You've been doing it since 2018. Everybody tried to warn you. Everybody tried to tell you to chill. You was cracking jokes about it. You said Tupac was breakdancing. You was being very dismissive to his family. And now look at you. People say karma don't come. It's gonna come right on time. If it ain't coming yet, just wait on it. And that's what it seemed happen. You're doing all that talking. You're doing all these interviews. You're going on Vlad TV. And I'm going to ask the question. What's the end game to all this? What did you get out going on Vlad TV, the Art of Dialogue? What do you get out going to those channels discussing a high-profile murder case? That you place yourself on the scene. You place yourself in a car. You place yourself with a weapon. So what's the end game? Is the risk really worth the reward? What did you get out of that? You got a little bit of notoriety. Now you finna get a whole lot of notoriety because you finna go to trial. It's finna be televised. Everybody finna be there. Ain't no way you beat this. Now I know some people on the internet is saying Keefe D might beat this. I don't see that happening. Because they're going to use his own words against him. They're going to play these interviews. And then he wrote a book detailing information. Just self-snitching at an all-time high. And you an old nigga doing this. We come down on 15, 16, 17-year-olds when they do it. But now you got somebody in their 50s and 60s self-snitching. Can't stay off the internet. Because I'm going to say this and I'm going to say it again. If he would have just took it to the grave, what happened? Once he made that proffer agreement, if he would never spoke on Tupac's name again, he'll be free right now. If he would never wrote that book, he'll be free. But you try to monetize Tupac's death, you try to monetize your involvement in Tupac's murder, and it ended up biting you. And I'm going to just say, this is what you get, man. You played the bad hand. All the cards was on your deck. Now look at you. So I don't feel sorry for Keefe D. I know some people turned him into a sympathetic figure. Oh, Vlad TV set him up. Oh, Vlad TV is the feds. Who the hell told him to go on Vlad TV time after time again to answer these questions? Who the hell told him to talk about Tupac's murder? And I'm gonna be honest with you guys. This 27 years later, people were just now getting over the death of Tupac. We pretty much accepted it. Okay, it's going to go unsolved. We think Orlando Anderson was the trigger man. He stumped out somebody. He got dealt with. Life goes on. We're going to find a new rapper. We're going to bump Tupac every now and then. Everybody was thinking about that. Everybody had that mindset. But once you started coming on the internet, once you started going on Vlad TV, it piqued everybody's interest now. Because once Vlad interview you, you say a name, what you think Vlad going to do? He gonna go contact them and ask them for an interview. Now it's a revolving door of Keefe D, Napoleon, all over Vlad TV talking about Tupac's murder. That's why I don't think it was smart for Keefe D to do it. It just opened up Pandora's box. That's how I feel about this whole situation. And it's his fault. But anyway, guys, share this video. Like this video. Let me know what you guys think about it. Leave a comment. I love you guys. Peace.